Now, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Just to refresh, we're at the scene of the massacre. Bheeshma Dev is lying on his bed of arrows. Yudhishthir, the Pandavas, Krishna, Vyas, and so many great sages and kings and saints have come to see Bheeshma now. And Bheeshma is trying to allay the doubts and worries of Yudhishthir, who feels himself responsible for all the millions of soldiers who have died so that he may become emperor of the world. Text number 16. Nahyasya karhichit rajan puman veda vadhitsitam yad vijigyasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. So this verse is perhaps one of the most important of this section and one of the important verses in the entire Bhagavatam. Na, never. He, certainly. Asya, his. Karhichit, whatsoever. Rajan, O king. So who is the king he's talking? Yudhishthir. Puman, anyone. Veda, knows. Vidhitsitam, plan. Yat, which. Vijigyasaya, with exhaustive inquiries. Yukta, being engaged. Muhyanti, bewildered. That word appears in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2. A self-realized soul is never bewildered when there is the change of the body. Those who are not self-realized, they will become bewildered at the time of death. Kavaya, great philosophers. Api, even. He, certainly. Please repeat. O king, no one can know the plan of Lord Sri Krishna. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. So, being devotees, we're always guided by Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. We make our plans, we make our decisions based on what our spiritual master instructs, what the scriptures teach us, and what previous acharyas have also done. And even though we do all these things, still, you can't necessarily think that each and every circumstance you're going to be successful, because you don't know that fifth factor, which is described in Bhagavad Gita chapter 18. That fifth item, Daiva, which represents super soul. He's the one that sanctions yes or no. Or you can, even the Battle of Kurukshetra, there was no guarantee. Although Krishna did show Arjuna in the universal form, everybody was entering the mouth. And Krishna in universal form was telling him that I want you to be nimitta matra bhavasavya sachin. I want you to be my instrument. And the universal form said, you will become victorious. But still, when you're actually in the battle, and there were days when it looks like it was over. Yudhishthir was in trouble. Arjuna himself was in trouble. If it wasn't for Krishna, that one time when Krishna pushed down the chariot and the arrow went just over Arjuna's head and knocked off his crown, came to this close. So, yes, you don't know Krishna's plan. We get married, we raise children. There's no guarantee what's going to happen, how they're going to turn out. No guarantees. You give it your best shot and you depend on Krishna. Yes, nobody knows the plan. Sometimes we can't understand why this is happening. Why is Krishna doing this? Sometimes we become bewildered. Why is this going on? Nobody knows the plan of, yes? Yes. 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 But that's what I was saying. But once they're on the battlefield, okay, yes, he was shown, like, the previews of the movie. But while he's actually fighting, there were doubts some days. Because some days the Kauravas gained victory sometimes. So it's a war. There's no guarantees. Yeah, he saw, but still, when you're actually in it, it's a different story. Nobody, come on, what is this? No one. Bheeshma is telling us. Bheeshma is one of the 12 Mahajans. Bheeshma knows the real truth. Bheeshma didn't know nobody knew the plan of Lord Sri Krishna. They were fighting till the end. Nobody knew. That's the whole idea. Yes, Krishna showed them, that's one thing. But when you're actually in it, it's a different story. Yes. Depart from Arjuna. Even for us, we don't know what Krishna. When I joined the movement, I didn't know what was going to. It was a gamble. Prabhupada even said, joining the movement is like a big gamble. You don't know. I was 23 years old, right? I just threw myself in. You get married, okay? You don't know what's going to happen, right? Marriage day is very nice, but after that, right? We've all experienced this, every one of us. You have something? Yes. That's coming up in next month's class. So come next month, because that's going to be described in next month's class. I'm not going to tell you now. You got to come next month. Let's stick to today. Okay, text number 17. Tasmad idang daiva tantrang vyavasya bharatarshava tasyano vihito nata natapahi prajaprabho. Tasmat, therefore, idam, this, daivatantram, enchantment of providence. So there's that word providence. Providence means Krishna in the heart, who directs everything. Providence means the hand, the unseen hand of God. Yes. Vyavasya, ascertaining. Bharata Rishabha, O best among the descendants of Bharata. Tasya, by him. Anavihita, as desired. Anatha, helpless. Nata, O master. Pahi, just take care of. Praja, of the subjects. Prabho, O Lord. Notice Lord is lowercase, so it's not referring to God. This whole verse is speaking to Yudhishthir. Please repeat. O best among the descendants of Bharata. Yudhishthir, I maintain therefore that all this is within the plan of the Lord. In other words, again, it's the end of the battle of Kurukshetra. The outcome is there. Yudhishthir has been feeling guilty. Bheeshma is telling him, calm down. Obviously, this was Krishna's plan that you become. Okay? Please repeat, accepting the inconceivable plan of the Lord. You must follow it. You are now the appointed administrative head. And you should now take care of those subjects who are now rendered helpless. So yes, now he's king, but that doesn't mean he just sits back and enjoys. He has to take care. After a war, there's lots of things to take care of. People have been displaced. There's so much that has to be done. So as king, Bheeshma is telling him, now you've got a job to do. Obviously, it was Krishna's plan that you become emperor. Now you have big responsibilities. Taking a big position like emperor of the world, that's very, very heavy responsibility. Let's continue. Number 18. Eshavai Bhagavan Sakshad Adyo Narayana Puman. I love that line, and you'll see why. I love that. Let's do it again. Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayan Mayaya Lokam Gudhascharati Vrishnishu. Esha, this, by, positively, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sakshat, original, Adya, the first, Narayan, the Supreme Lord, who lies down on the water, Puman, the supreme enjoyer, Mohayan, bewildering, Mayaya, by his self-created energy, Lokam, the planets, Gudha, who is inconceivable, Charati, moves, Vrishnishu, among the Vrishni family. Bheeshma is lying on the battlefield on the bed of arrows. He's speaking specifically to Yudhishthir. Look what he says. Please repeat. This Sri Krishna. Remember we read Krishna is sitting there. So now Bheeshma is pointing to Krishna, speaking to you. This Krishna is none other than the inconceivable, original personality of Godhead. This is why Bheeshma is Mahajan. He has no doubts about who is God. Notice, the inconceivable, original. Okay, please repeat. He is the first Narayan. Very big statement. What's that? Because Krishna has so many expansions, right? Now, in the word for word, Prabhupada was giving a literal translation of Narayan. One meaning is one who lies down on the water. That can refer to Mahavishnu. That can refer to Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. But Mahavishnu is not the origin. Mahavishnu has an origin. Who has an origin? Who has an origin? And where does it originate from? Govinda. He's the original Narayan. In other words, Narayan means the expansions of Godhead. But there has to be an original. Govindam, okay, what's that word? Ishvara Paramakrishna Sachid Ananda Vig Anadir Adi Govinda. So he has no cause other than himself. Mahavishnu has a cause. All the Narayans have a cause. Ram has a cause. Balaram has a cause. Does Krishna have a cause? No. That's why Anadir Adi Govinda. That verse by Lord Brahma is so, and Bheeshma Dev is repeating. Brahma is a Mahajan. He's one of the 12 Mahajans. They're not going to contradict Bheeshma. This is why this verse is so huge. Bheeshma is telling you, hello, Krishna is the first Narayan from whom so many other Narayans come. In the same way, the goddess of fortune. Who is the original goddess of fortune? Radha. Krishna is the, no. Radharani is